Yo, leader of these stupid contractors. We are going to make your delivery date even sooner.
Good evening, Nick. You can call me Candace, by the way. I understand that my company is full of contractors that supply parts for you, but it'd be nice if you still referred to me by my actual name, please.
Sure. So you're gonna get those parts to me even sooner, right?
I'm sorry to say this, but I don't believe that we can.
Huh? Are you kidding me right now? You're nothing more than the leader of a small contractors group who does nothing more than make spare parts for larger firms like me. And you're saying you can't get a job done sooner for me?
I'm just telling you the reality of the situation, and asking for those parts sooner isn't going to happen.
Then in order to make things go more quickly over at your factory, I'm going to be sending some of my men over to help. Mike, Brent, and Stuart.
Huh? Are you sure you want to send those three? As far as I'm aware, they're all your top 3 performing workers, and they shouldn't be asked to come help with my team. And haven't they been with you since you started?
What difference does that make to me? I'm sending them to help you out because those 3 ended up stabbing me in the back. So I had them all fired for that.
Don't you think you've gone a bit too far by doing that to them? They might even take action against you for doing something like that.
Well, it's not like I fired them wrongfully. Those 3 men wanted to change their occupations.
They wanted to change? Wait, you have to understand that those 3 are too old now to be changing their lines of work now.
Jeez. No matter how much I try and break things to you, you can't seem to get a grasp of things. The reason I'm giving them up is because I've hired some friends of my own, and I needed to make space on my payroll, and did so by firing those 3 geezers.
You hired your own friends?
I had some friends who went to the same university as me who said they were looking for some work. And they told me they wanted an easy job that paid them well. And so I made it seem as though those 3 old men stabbed me in the back some way, and then had them fired to make room for my buddies.
Are you being serious?
I'm being very serious right now. So let's get back to what I came here to talk about. I don't need those 3 anymore, so you can go ahead and take them on as your employees and get the work I'm asking for done quicker. Then you won't have to keep making excuses for why you can't get any parts to me.
Hold on. I understand that you want this conversation to wrap up pretty quickly here, but I just want to make sure I have this all down correctly. You originally asked me to have my product to you sooner than the date we had agreed on, but I told you that no matter how much harder I pushed my workers, that wouldn't be possible. And so now you're going to give me 3 of your best men because you've hired some of your own friends to take their spots, and want your 3 best men to help my factory get said work done. However, what happens if we're still unable to get that work done at an earlier date?
As long as you take on those 3 old men, I don't care if you continue aiming for our previously discussed target date.
Understood. So that's going to be our agreement then today?
Correct. So what do you think?
Well, actually, I have one last thing to ask. I'm not completely sure what kinds of skills and trades these 3 men I'm about to hire have, but are you really sure you're okay handing them off to me?
Those 3 are able to get any work you ask them to get done. And they're all willing to work overtime whenever asked to make sure any quotas are hit. And as for their skills, you don't even have to worry about that considering they've all worked pretty much every job they've been asked to, and have done them well.
Well, if later down the road you ask for me to give them back to your company, please be aware that I will not.
I'm never asking for them back. They've grown far too old to help me now, and most of their motivation's down the drain now. Go ahead and fire them from your company if you ended up never needing them.
Is that so? Well, if that's what you want me to agree to, then so be it.
I'm not sure how helpful those geezers will be for you, but understand that me getting rid of them will not hurt my productivity in the slightest. So they're all yours now.
Then starting tomorrow, I will be taking on Mike, Brent, and Stuart to start working for me within my company. You don't mind that at all, correct?
Go right ahead. They are already being fired from my company, so you don't need to ask me for permission before doing anything with them.
Is that so? Understood. Thank you, Nick. I'll make sure to put them all to good use.
You sure about that?
Good morning, Mike. Long time no see. This is Candace from Wilds LLC.
My oh my. If it isn't the little girl of Mr. Daniels.
You don't have to keep calling me his little girl anymore. And as of right now, I've been given his company and everything, so you can call me the CEO of Wilds LLC now.
Oh, is that right? He made sure to put his daughter through it all so that she could become the perfect young woman. I can't say the same for the little man in charge of my last job.
Are you talking about that 26-year-old man, Nick, who's taken over your previous company and has started to make a name for himself there?
Right. I'm starting to get a little worried about him, especially after what he's been doing recently.
Well, I've heard all about him.
Huh?
Just yesterday he was talking with me about what he wanted from me, as well as what all happened with you guys. He told me that he had you and 2 other men, Brent and Stuart, fired so that he could hire more of his friends to come work for him.
Is that what happened?
To me, this all seems like unfair termination of your guys' jobs there. And as for me now, I don't mind talking more about what's been happening within that company. So, do you mind telling me a bit more about what's been going on there, and why Nick thinks this is all a good idea?
Sure. As far as I'm aware, he's been trying to work on cutting costs within the company so that he looks better in front of his shareholders. But in order to do that, he began sending a lot of his company's work overseas to be done for cheaper by foreign sources.
He's having everything manufactured overseas?
If the products he was having manufactured outside the US were any good, then I wouldn't be complaining. But it seems he doesn't mind that all the products we get in are trash. Well, anyway, if you want to hear the real reason the 3 of us were fired, it's due to us all complaining about the quality of what the company was bringing in from overseas. And the day after we complained, we were all informed that we've been terminated. At least to keep things as clean as possible with the terminations, he was willing to give us all packages.
I see. So this had nothing to do with him hiring friends to work for him then? Well, have you started to think about what you want to do now?
Well, not yet. I'm not sure what to do now. I've been thinking a lot about my family now, and I've been hoping that they understand that it'll be some time before I can find new work. Not only that, but I'm also getting pretty old now.
Mike? If you don't mind, would you like to come work for me?
Well that's...
And it wouldn't be just you that I'm asking, but Brent and Stuart as well. So what do you think?
Well, that is. I'm very thankful for you offering me a position within your company. We don't have too much longer before we all really start to consider retirement. So are you really okay with the 3 of us being hired into your company and working for you?
Well, to tell you the truth, I've actually begun working on creating a new department within my company. And soon I plan to hire in a lot of younger work to begin handling said new department. But I'm going to need a few men with plenty of years of experience in these fields to come in and train them so that they have a better understanding of the demands my company and this industry have. So if I have the 3 of you, with all the knowledge you men hold, join my company and work your last couple of years with me, then I feel that the opening of this new department will go very smoothly for me.
Is that so? Thinking that much about how to implement the 3 of us into your company. Thank you.
Also, having spoken to you about this, do you mind if I go and talk with Brent and Stuart now about the same thing?
Yes, please go tell them.
Then I'll plan to have them both well informed by this time tomorrow. And as for you becoming an employee within my company, I'd like you to tell me before tomorrow what days you'd like off this next year, and if you have any other demands you'd like me to meet.
Understood. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Candace!
Give me back those 3 right now.
Huh? Ah, this must be you, Nick. It's been around a year now since the last time we spoke to one another. Now what do you mean by me handing those 3 back to you?
Those friends of mine that I hired to work for me ended up being completely useless. I thought for sure that since I knew all of them really well and knew the educations they had, they would work well under my leadership. But they haven't been able to do jack for me, and I can't use them anymore.
Well, that would happen, wouldn't it?
Also, here's something I heard while you've been holding on to these 3. Apparently they have all been doing very well for themselves, and are considered top class in their fields now. I had to tell a lot of my customers why the quality of my products have gone down, and when explaining to them that I've gotten rid of Mike and those other 2, they let me know how stupid I was.
I knew something like this would happen to you. After all, those friends of yours you've told me you hired are actually a bunch of overseas partners that you've been sending all your work off to for cheaper, hoping to save some money, right? Well, it seems that those savings you gained from doing so also ended up ruining the quality of all your products, and now you're left dealing with some very angry customers.
Please, Candace. Give those 3 back to me so that they could fix all of this.
No way.
Why not?
They've made it very clear to me that they don't want to work under you anymore.
Well, I'll make sure to fix things. If you can get them to come back to me, I'll make sure to never rush a production ever again, or ask for anything more out of your company.
Ah, no thank you.
What?
I've just finished implementing a new department into my company that has ventured out into some new technologies. And that department has already been making my company tenfold what all the other departments have made, so if I were to send those 3 back to you, I'd lose my biggest profit maker.
Huh?
Also, on top of that, I told you a year ago when you told me to take them off your hands that if you ever wanted them back, I'd say no. And back then I know for a fact that you agreed with me on that term. So can you please stop trying to break the promise we had?
Candace, please. I'm asking you to please. Please just forget about everything you said to me a year ago and hand those 3 back to me. That's all I want. I'm not joking when I said that right now. My company is in seriously hot water. If I can't get my company back to producing quality goods, then it's all gonna go under.
Well, telling me all of that isn't going to get you anywhere. I'll be going now.
Hold on a second, Candace! Mike, please! I'm asking you to please come back to my company.
If it isn't my old boss, Nick. It's been such a long time now.
I don't need you to sit there talking like I'm some old friend of yours. Now get your butt back here. I'm telling you right now that I'm willing to hire you again.
I'm sure that what you're saying right now is a load of crap, right?
What are you going on about?
I could have sworn you told Candace that you had the 3 of us fired to make room for some of your friends to come and work for you, right? Ah, and that's the other thing. You didn't want to make it seem as though you fired us for that reason. So you also told Candace that we wanted to change careers anyway, right?
That was...
As far as I'm concerned, you wanted to hide your true intentions from everybody by saying that. Just so you didn't have to fear being taken to court for firing us unfairly. Well, no worries, Nick. We had only been with your company since the day it was founded by your father, and had made sure to work there with all loyalty to you guys. But after being fired by you for BS excuses, I think we no longer see you as the man your father was, and that's okay.
Huh?
As of right now, Brent, Stewart, and I no longer have to be worried about what we are going to do, because we have a new boss in charge of us, who is far more caring about the experiences we have as her employees. And, unlike you, she plans to only hold on to us for the next few years, so that when it's time for us to want to retire, she'll give us a very nice package and let us go. Of course, we could come back to you when our time is up here and we've retired. But remember, we no longer feel loyal to you and your company. So I don't think you'll ever get our help when the time comes. Well, that's if your company is even around by that point.
Candace, hey. Please. How about you get married to me and then start helping my company get back on its feet so that the two of us can become a power couple?
Are you kidding me?
I understand that it's not what either of us want right now, but I'd much rather be married to you and keep my company than have it to go under and no longer have any money. In other words, I don't have any other choice besides marrying you and getting your help. You don't even have to stay with me after my company is back on its feet. You can divorce me right after that. So please come help me.
Well, listen to this, Nick.
Yes?
I'm already married.
Huh? But your last name? That's the same name as your father's.
Well, that's because my husband ended up taking my family's name. And as of right now, we already have 2 kids, both in elementary school.
What the heck?
So we can be finished here, right?
I'm screwed.
Goodbye now, Nick. In the end, it seems that the second-generation CEO of that company ended up taking the company under. He did make mistakes by thinking he could cut costs by sending workers out to overseas partners to make parts for him. But the thing that really sunk his company was more personal. It's understandable that keeping workers for a very long time will see them costing you more money to keep employed, especially when they're good at their jobs. But Nick made a huge mistake getting rid of 3 of his best men so that he can cut costs, even though they were the ones carrying his company and making sure the quality was right. Anyway, after the loss of his company, he was still in debt to a few banks that he had been taking loans from to try and help his company. And to help start making some money to pay them off, he began working for one of his friends, at the starting level on the floor of the factory. But of course, he never lost that toxic personality of his, and so relations with the other workers within the factory began to sour. And before long, he was out of that job as well. I'm not sure what's happened to Nick since then, but I'm sure he's regretting what he did to his company a while back and will never be able to move on from it. And as for my company, we have been doing really well this year and expect to do even better these coming years thanks to the new department. However, it won't be long before I have to say goodbye to Mike and the guys, as they'll soon be on their way to retiring. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Hey, Mom! I'm back in town.
Oh, was it today? It totally slipped my mind. I'm sorry I couldn't help you much with your moving.
It's okay. The moving company is handling everything anyway. Mitch already started unpacking.
Tell him I said hi. Are you too glad to be back in the neighborhood, or do you miss Madrid already?
Living in Europe was a good experience. And we liked Madrid a lot. I wish you could come visit us while we were there.
I wish I could too. But the timing just didn't work out, you know?
How is it living with Isabel? Has it been a couple of months now?
Yes, Isabel and Chris moved in 6 months ago. It all happened so quickly. I didn't even get the chance to say no.
I don't really know her husband well. In fact, I don't think we've met in person. What is he like?
Honestly, I don't really know either. I barely ever talk to him.
But you live with them.
Probably because I live with them. I think he avoids talking to me out of awkwardness.
What? But they're the ones who wanted to move into your house?
I bet Isabella forced him. She can be very persuasive.
Ah, I see. You're right. Isabel can be a bit selfish. Dad was the only one who could stop her. Mom, is she treating you well? She better not be making you do all their housework.
Oh, that's not a big deal.
Wait a second. Do you mean she really is making you do everything? She's an adult, Mom. You can say no. I'll stop by your house soon and have a chat with her. She needs to do her own chores.
It's all right. I'm happy to do it. Stop worrying about me, Sophie. You have a 3-year-old to look after. I can take care of myself.
But I will be coming over soon. I don't need to get on a plane anymore to see you. It should take less than an hour.
I look forward to seeing you soon, honey.
Yes, me too. Actually, after I visit you, you should come back here with me. Stay with us for a couple of days.
I don't know. I have a part-time job, so I don't know if it will work out.
You have a job?
Yes, I do, so I don't lose my mind. It's all good exercise.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't work every day, do you? I'll drive you back when you need, so come stay with us, perhaps for a night.
Well, I would love to, but I will ask Isabel what she thinks first.
Why do you need to ask Isabel?
I just want to make sure it's not bad timing for her. Don't worry, I will work something out.
Okay then. Well, let me know when is best for you. I can't wait to have you here. Isabel, what the hell is wrong with you?
What are you talking about?
About Mom! She began to cry when we were having dinner at my house earlier. She said she doesn't want to go home.
Huh? Why?
I think you know why. You and Chris have been treating her like a slave, haven't you?
What? Of course we are not.
You make her do all the housework.
Oh, you're talking about housework? I never asked her to do anything. She just volunteers.
Because you two never do anything. Is it also true that you confiscated the things I've sent her? Like her birthday presents and gifts from Spain?
I just borrowed them. She had no use with any of those items anyways. I only helped so it wouldn't go to waste.
I gave it to her, not you. Besides, you don't get to decide how she uses the gifts. And what is this about not paying any of the utilities? You two are adults. Why are you making Mom look after you?
Shut up! You are just like Dad. I wish you never came back from Madrid.
I will not shut up because you are being so selfish. Mom's been asking you to pitch in for the bills. Why have you not paid her?
Neither of us are home much. The two of us living here shouldn't have much impact on her bills.
What about for food? You make her cook every meal, don't you?
We have very small appetites. And it's only a few $100 at most. What's the fuss?
If you think it's only a few $100, then you should pay.
Who do you think looks after the old woman? Me, not you, so stay out of it.
Mom never even said okay about you guys moving in. You just invited yourselves in.
What's so bad about a daughter living with her mother? I refuse to move out, no matter what you say. If she doesn't want to live with us, then guess what? She can move out.
Are you being serious?
You said she doesn't want to come, no? Then she doesn't really have a choice, does she?
That is her house.
But we live in it now. You can't make us leave. Did you know Chris used to wrestle? If you try anything stupid, I will have him throw you like trash.
That's how you threaten Mom, too, huh? Whenever she said something you didn't want to hear, Chris would throw things at her. Or hit the wall sometimes. You two are out of your minds. How can you treat your own mother like this?
Because she doesn't know how to keep her mouth shut. Ugh. Anyway, stop messaging me about stupid things. I mean, I'm all ears if you're willing to take her.
My husband and I will be discussing that.
Oh, really? I thought you'd never use your kid as an excuse not to take her. You never know. Let me know when you guys figure it out.
Isabel, are you still not awake?
Sorry, I couldn't take your call. I just got up a minute ago. I'm in a cab right now on my way to get my nails done, so don't call again. Anyway, you know what you want to do about the old woman?
We want to live with her.
No way! You are seriously willing to take her? Seriously?
Yes. My husband also agrees.
Your husband must be as crazy as you are. Oh, wait. I am not letting you take the house, though. We live in it now, and we are not going anywhere.
The house is not worth much, so it's fine. It's 1,000,000 times better to take her than the house. I'll be coming to pick up her stuff soon. After that, do as you please.
What's worthless is the old hag. I thought she inherited a load from Dad, but she had nothing but a small saving. She even started to work part-time. I was getting ready to leave her in the woods or something.
Interesting. You were going to get rid of her, huh?
Chris can't relax with her around. I only let her stay until now because she did all the housework. She could have left whenever she wanted, really.
You are unbelievable.
I didn't do anything, though. Just in my head. I realized that it's kind of difficult to literally get rid of a parent. But now that you're taking her in, I can go on with my life without any burden. You are such a good girl, my baby sister.
Isabel, you will apologize to what you've done to Mom.
Aha. Why me? I kept the lonely old woman company. She should be thanking me instead.
You have been able to live in that house because Mom took care of you. It's hard to believe you don't see that.
She's my mother. Of course she would. She's the one who had me, so it's her responsibility to take care of me.
You will regret all of this.
I don't think I will. Everything is going just as I planned. All I ever wanted was this house. I will not let anyone stop me, no matter what. Sophie, you bitch! You knew
About what?
that we don't own this house. You knew and never told me.
I don't even know why you thought we own it.
But we grew up in this house. It's been over 20 years.
Mom and Dad never planned to live there for so long. They wanted to move out once we graduated from school. They were looking for a nice place and preparing to move. But then Dad passed away. It was too hard for Mom to move out of the house full of memories.
I don't care about her memories. Why didn't you tell me?
Why would I? What do I owe someone who used my mother like a slave?
I was going to sell the house.
You wanted the money?
I need cash.
Well, too bad. You don't get anything.
Where the hell is your house? Tell me.
Why?
You need to give me money.
I do?
We have to leave this house by the end of this month. I need money to move out. You owe me for not telling me it was rented.
You confused it all in your own sister. I don't see the need for me to pay you anything. Besides, after all you've done, Mom paid this month's rent so that you have a bit of time to figure things out. You really should be thanking her.
Blah, blah, blah. You're wasting my time. She is coming back here. Tell her she belongs here.
She was crying because she doesn't want to live with you two. There's no way she'll be returning to you.
Mom cares about me. That's why she took care of me. If she finds out I'm asking her to come back, she would.
That caring mom has decided she will not return. By the way, you said she doesn't have much money, but you're wrong about that too. She began a part-time job to make it look like she was in need of money.
What?
She was hoping you guys would leave if she didn't have any money.
Are you saying she actually does have money?
Of course she does. Mom and Dad have been saving so they wouldn't have to depend on us. They have always understood well how much it costs to live after retiring. Unlike you, they planned well. She worked so that she wouldn't have to waste any more money that they had saved on you and Chris.
That witch! She fooled me.
No. She was protecting herself from you. You invited yourselves in, made her do all the housework. On top of it all, you made her pay for everything and used any money you could find in her house. If she ever said anything to annoy you, you used Chris to threaten her. So, duh, of course she needed to protect herself.
Sophie, you don't understand. If my husband finds out we can't sell this house, I will get in so much trouble.
Like what?
We are in debt, and I am afraid of Chris. He's been very quiet since we moved in here. I think it's because Mom was around, and because he believes that we are getting money soon. But he is uncontrollable when he gets pissed off.
You should divorce him.
I would have divorced him long time ago if I could. It's not that easy.
I didn't say it was.
Besides, he was so nice at first. He has a very gentle, sweet side too.
Well, I still think you two should separate for once.
Please, I really need money. If he finds out, he would beat me. What if he makes me go work on the streets?
Well, Isabel, you made Mom live with a dangerous person like that. And you were only after her house and money. To me, it sounds like you pretty much asked for it.
Sophie, please. Tell me your address. You have to help me.
I wish you'd asked me for help before you did horrible things to Mom. I may have listened if I hadn't realized what a bully you are.
Tell Mom I am asking for help. She won't answer my calls. None of my messages are going through either.
That's her answer to you right there. Isabel, there were so many ways for you to get help. But you chose to take everything away from your mother. How could we ever consider you our family?
I am her daughter. She has to help if her child is in need.
Life doesn't work like that. If you have the nerve to steal from your parent, you should have used it to leave your husband. This is all happening now because you were only thinking about yourself. You chose yourself over your family.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I will formally apologize for what I have done to Mom. So please help me.
You are old enough to take full responsibility for yourself. We disown you. Both Mom and I.
Sophie, forgive me. Mommy, I'm so sorry.
You are way too late to apologize. But I guess you finally understand now that the house really was not worth anything. How does it feel to realize that you've tossed away something you should have treasured? As a farewell gift, I sent her $1,000 and deleted all her contacts from our phone. I realized I was being way too nice, but in case what she was saying about her husband was true, I wanted to give her a final chance to run from him. Although there's a high possibility that she was bluffing and that they're still together. When the real estate agent arrived to the house to collect the keys, Isabel and Chris were already gone, and the house was empty. I don't know what happened to them, and I don't really want to know either. In fact, I hope I don't see either of them again. I questioned why my mother never told me about what was happening in her house. I was very sad to hear that she kept her mouth shut because she was scared Isabel and Chris would threaten my family as well. But she was on the verge when I invited her to my house. She began to cry because the warm food and atmosphere of my house made her realize she wasn't happy with my sister. She must have been so afraid and lonely living with those two bullies. My mother stayed with us for a while after the incident, but has recently moved into a cozy apartment near our house. She says she enjoys living in an apartment where she can relax and spend time for herself. But I know she got an apartment out of consideration for my family, so that she doesn't become a burden to us. We don't live under the same roof, but I'm glad she's only a few minutes away. My mom will never be lonely, and she will have plenty of company from us going forward. I will make sure not to put her through any more stress. I'm so happy I'm able to replace my sister to take care of her.